Zara, and Uniqlo has a hidden secrets that they don't want all of us to discover. Digging further into the history of fast fashions, I find out more about the vicious loop in which our clothes are made. Fashions is terms that encourage people to express their own creativity and personality. It enables customers to design an individual, unique fashions, which in turn contributes a greater sense of confidence. Essentially, fashion allows people to portray themselves in a way they want to be seen in the world. Today, society places great emphasis on looking a certain way to fit and be considered trendy or up to date. The concept of fast fashion has become most famous in fashions, innovations, and environmental awareness conventions. What is fast fashion? Fast fashion, described by Lexico, powered by Oxford, as a cheap clothing in response to the latest trend. However, cheap does not mean it is good for us. Nowadays, many people really like to wear and buy shirts from fast fashion stores like H&M, Zara, Uniqlo, Forever 21 because they consider that shirts are cheap and trendy. However, some of them did not realize that they are bad effect from buying this type of clothes. As a consumer and buyer of clothes, I am responsible to clarify that issue regarding fast fashion and why we need to ban fast fashion. The reason why we need to ban and not buy fast fashion is first, fast fashion is the second most polluting sector that gives impact to our environment. Second, fast fashion industry exercise discrimination, violence, abuse to their workers. And lastly, fast fashions risk our health condition. Today, I would like to persuade each of you that fast fashion should be banned. Let's begin by talking about the impacts of fast fashion to our environment. Firstly, why do I say that fast fashion should be banned? Because this is the second main contributor sector that gives impact to our environment. Fast fashion enables shopping behavior for clothes more affordable, but now it's okay for an environmental impact. According to the United Nations Environment Programme 2018, fast fashion sector was classified as the second biggest source of pollution next to oil. The clothes are made of chemicals that wind up in our seas and waterways. Fast fashion's disaster impact requires any use of cheap and toxic fabric dyes that occur to the second biggest clean water polluter in the world after agriculture. The World Wildlife 2013 research found out that every singular t-shirts take more than 2,000 gallons of water to produce. At time we show our beautiful clothes to social media, we actually have hugely affect the well-being of our nature. Thus, as a civilized human being, we need to stop this. Since the fast fashion clothes are cheap, most people throw them away after only a few use in exchange for a new clothes. According to the Burden Sons 2018, in Canada, an average individual dumps their clothes is 81 kilograms of textile products per year, whereas North America gives 9.5 million tons of clothes to the dump per year, much of which may be reused, but mostly garments cannot be resold because of the poor of quality. Furthermore, fast fashion shirts takes 80 years to decompose in the landfills. Fast fashion has definitely shaped us to be greatly lavish and reckless in distinguishing between needs and wants in clothing. These are not supposed to be happen. We need to do everything in moderation and not to waste anything. Next, fast fashion causes the greenhouse gas emissions. According to Business Insider, a 2019 report that the industry of what we wear and eat large production chains is responsible to 10% of our planet carbon dioxide emissions. In the other hand, greenhouse emissions from clothing manufacturing industry are greater than foreign flights and marine activities. The fabrics used influence not just the climates of the fashion product, but also the workers and the people who wear the fabric. Hazardous chemicals influence all elements of life and release to surrounding ecosystem. It is obvious that fast fashion industry is among the main cause of the natural disaster that is occurring nowadays. Droughts, global warming, heat wave are among the natural disasters that occurs because of excessive emissions of carbon dioxide. And as I mentioned earlier, the main contributor is the fast fashion industry. So I have told you just a bit of the implications of fast fashions. Do you still think fast fashion is good things to everyone? The reason why we need to ban fast fashion is because fast fashion industry exercise discrimination, violence, abuse to their workers. Fast fashion give harm to our garment industry workers. Have you ever asked yourself, where did my clothes come from? Or who are making my clothes? For you guys' informations, fast fashion sacrifice the freedom of the people who have made them. We are uninformed about this growing problem. The circumstances of the factory employees are those that we prohibited a long time ago, while the developed world does not strictly ban or control sweatshop. The worst part is they use cheap labor that is often wages in the sweatshop. Most employees are expected to work 14 to 16 hours a day for a week. Sexual abuse and discriminations are common things that many female workers have indicated that the required maternity leave is not provided by companies. Next, the working conditions are bad and risk the safety of the women and child employees in that fast fashion factories. On 2013, Rana Plaza Textile Factory Complex collapsed in Bangladesh, killing more than 1,000 employees and injured more than 2,500. There are about 40 million garment employees in the world nowadays. Most of them have no rights or security. Nearly 85% of all textile workers are women. The abuse of women's jobs is too great to be overlooked. In addition, the causing significant damage to the environment. Situations like this can seriously harm the workers. Jobs are given unequal hours and overworked to keep up with increasing demands of the fashion sector. Think of people in Bangladesh feelings that lost their child or their mom and wife because of this inhumanity of fast fashions. As a society, we need to have a responsibility to protect our environment by banning fast fashions. Lastly, fast fashion raised our health conditions. Fast fashion had a massive impact to our health. World Health Organization WHO says that child workers in Bangladesh also exposed to toxic chemicals that can likely to shorten their life. If it is not enough to understand the history of your clothes and the immoral activity of fast fashion firms, so you should realize that you as a consumer will also suffer the health implications. They may not be as serious as those suffered by garment workers, and the effects may not be as drastic, but the long-term impacts of wearing fast fashion clothes cannot be largely ignored. Scientists say that harmful chemicals used to process textile remain on their clothing even though they had been cleaned and can contribute to significant health problems such as endocrine disruptions. The Hormone Health Network clarified that the consequences of endocrine disruption chemicals are extremely dangerous for children as they cause development and growth and can reduce the immune system. Since hormones affect numerous body systems, endocrine dysfunction may cause complications such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, fertility disorder, or rising risk of cancer. In short, from my speech, you all have known about the impacts of fast fashions. In conclusion, we have already talked about the disasters of fast fashion to our environment, to our garment workers, and also to our health. Firstly, the impacts of fast fashion is the second most polluting sector that gives impact to our environment. Second, fast fashion industry exercise discrimination, violence, abuse to their workers. And lastly, fast fashion risks our health conditions. We as a human want to look fashionable, trendy and beautiful, and some people does not care to spend a lot of money for a fashion trend, and some people is a very shopaholic persons that will buy anything that's not really a necessary to them. However, before we buy something like a clothes, it is important to us know about the background and the impacts of the clothes to our environments. Hopefully, next time, if you are at the mall to shopping, ask yourself, is a cheap clothes a worth for us to buy? Mahatma Gandhi said that there is no beauty in the fitness clothes if it makes hunger and unhappiness. So, we as a human, we need to ban this fast fashion industry to make our environment safe. That's all from me. Thank you.